Welcome back, friends, to another The City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and today I am bringing you guys another Are They Worth It video. A series where I cover upcoming banners to see if the characters are worth your precious tickets and or gems. Now, before I get into it though, friends, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and shoutouts where shoutouts are due, everybody, to make our lives easier when it comes to looking up information for said characters. So some examples: database, material, the compendium, and for the tone. Very Troop and anybody else. So all those wonderful links will be down below in the description. Now, at the time of making this video, we have yet to receive the in-game notifications to see when the event is going to drop live, or if we will receive free multi-draws or not. So again, friends, at the time of making this video, I do not know that information just yet. I did want to drop this video just so you guys can potentially plan out if you guys will be going for Cloud if you are not Final Fantasy VII fans. Alright, friends, so again, pay attention to the in-game notice to see if we will be receiving free multi-draws for this banner or not. But both of these banners will feature Cloud's LD and burst weapons. We have Celeste, Waka, and Yori, incoming Waka balls, hey. And then on the other banner, we have a Setzer with Cloud's EX weapon and Rem featured on the other banner. So let's take a look to see what Cloud is going to be getting with his rework and LD and burst weapons in the game on the global side. Now, Cloud is a melee ranged hybrid attacker who has the capabilities of removing enemy buffs with his World of Illusion weapons, and he does have built-in utility in the form of delays and paralysis built into his kit. He does receive a rework. Now, if you're already familiar with Cloud, there will be timestamps down below in the comments, description, and the time frame. Those of you not familiar with Cloud, I will be recapping what he does. Now, Cloud, he does have a lot of weapons in the actual game compared to any other characters in the game. So his most important one, in my opinion, is definitely his World of Illusions weapon, his Crimson Edge. Now, what this is going to do is once per turn, whenever Cloud crits, this will remove one buff from the enemy. I highly recommend you guys pick up Crimson Edge for Cloud in the weapon token shop for 10 power tokens. Now, this is 20 CP to equip this weapon. He also has two additional weapons in the form of his mannequin weapon, where he gets it from Arc 2 Chapter 5.8 for free, and his Buster Sword NC version. Now, this is the paid version, and it's only been featured twice to my memory when the game first started, and they did bring it back during a costume bundle. It was in there. So to date, this is the only paid weapon, so to say, in the game that can increase the damage of a character. So both of these weapons will increase Cloud's brave damage dealt by finishing touch and cross slash by 10%, so 20% total if you have his mannequin weapon and Buster Sword NT version. In terms of when the Buster Sword is going to come back, his NT version, I have no idea. That is up to Square. Again, it's only been featured twice before, so if they ever do return it back, it'll most likely be in a costume bundle. But again, I don't know if they will bring this weapon back or not. Now, his first skill, it is receiving a rework. He has 10 uses, so he's going to heal his Brave by 70% of his attack before the melee Brave plus HP attack executed 3 times. It's going to be hitting around a 60% Brave hit potency per Brave hit, and this is going to increase the Brave damage dealt by 50% with his passives. Now, if you have his paid weapon, his NT weapon, and his mannequin weapon, this is going to increase the Brave damage by an additional 20%. And he also increases his critical Brave damage by 60% with all of his passives collected. Now, upon using Cross Slash, there's a 35% chance to paralyze the target for 1 turn. If Cross Slash is in its plus form, that's after using Finishing Touch, this has a 100% chance to paralyze the target. Finishing Touch, this is going to Brave heal his Brave by 70% of attack. This is ranged Brave hit plus HP attack executed 5 times. It's going to be hitting it at about 40% Brave potency per Brave hit, but the Brave damage can be increased by 30% with his passives, plus 20% if you have his mannequin NT and his NT paid weapon. And this is going to also increase the critical Brave damage by 50% on dealing crit damage. This will extend his own current buffs plus 1 turn. This does initiate a chase sequence while setting up the other target for a chase, and this will upgrade Cross Slash into Cross Slash Plus for 8 turns. Now, this will grant him his primary generic buffs for 8 turns. So he's going to get 50% max Brave up, 40% physical attack up, and 60% crit rate up. So higher chances to crit rate while also increasing his physical damage. His additional ability, Critical Crush, he's going to attack the the critical brave damage is increased by 50% for this attack, and he will grant himself plus 20% max brave for 4 turns. Cloud's call action, very useful call action in my opinion. He's going to perform finishing touch. He's going to come in, do finishing touch, and he will initiate a chase sequence. If you take him to crystal level 80, this will further improve the damage of finishing touch call action. Now, Cloud's EX ability, it has not received any changes since its EX plus day, so it is meteor range, 6-hit range, alternating brave hits, followed by HP attack. It is split HP attacks, executed twice. Brave potency 60% plus an additional 30% brave damage with his passives, and an additional plus 60% critical brave damage. He will grant himself Mako for 6 turns, and this is going to increase his max brave by 90% and give him a brave regen effect based off of 160% of his imp brave. So if you compare him up with other units that increases his imp brave, he's going to have a more potent brave regen. Now, something to take of note is that EX plus 1 out of 3, he will grant himself Mako for 6 turns at the start of the quest. Upon maxing out his EX weapon, you will gain access to an 8-type bonus sphere, which is going to increase the wielder's critical brave damage by 10%. Those of you that skipped ahead, welcome back, and time to take a look at Cloud's LD weapon, his LD ability, Blade Beam. It is a 6-hit ranged AoE brave plus single target HP attack with a 50% HP splash. This is going to be hitting for 120% brave potency per brave hit, and if you are attacking a single target, this will increase the brave damage done by 60%. This will delay all the targets by 2 turns, which is pretty damn powerful in my own damn personal opinion. And not only that, on the following turn, Cloud gains access to a free ability use, excluding LD weapons. Do I have to say that every single time when I mention free ability uses? I feel like I do, because there's going to be somebody that's like, does that include the LD? So free ability use on the following turn, excluding the LD ability. So what you want to be doing is using his LD, go into his free finishing touch, because he only has 4 uses of finishing touch. So this can extend the amount of uses you have for finishing touch, because you want to set up for that cross slash plus, because after using finishing touch, cross slash upgrades to cross slash plus, guaranteeing you a paralysis, 100% paralysis on that target, unless they resist paralysis or any form, or if they're immune to debuffs. All right, so a guaranteed way to get free finishing touches followed by cross slash plus on top of delaying the targets for 2 turns. Very, very powerful LD weapon, LD ability for Cloud to have at his disposal. And finally, Cloud's burst weapon, which is going to give him access to his Omni / version 5 finish burst. My Advent Children fans, hype, hype, hype. Now, this is going to be a party-wide burst effect for 4 turns. Now, what this is going to do for the party, plus 50% brave damage increase, plus 50% critical brave damage increase, plus 20% brave damage limit, and plus 30% overflow. So this is going to allow your party members just to dish out more damage during that 4-turn burst effect period. So this is definitely a nice burst weapon to pick up to allow your party members to deal out more damage. Now, just to compare it with another current top tier burst weapon that we do have, Lightning, I did highlight the main differences between these two. So the main differences between Cloud's burst effect and Lightning's burst effect, where first and foremost is the amount of turns. So Lightning's is at a 10-turn party-wide burst effect, while Cloud's is at a 4-turn. Now keep in mind that Lightning, she has the capabilities of acting back to back, so that's why it is at a higher turn compared to Cloud. So you could potentially burn through that compared to Cloud. So if you have faster units than Cloud's, they could definitely take full advantage of Cloud's burst effect. Now with Lightning, when you break a target or you are attacking a broken target, this will further increase the brave damage dealt by 30%. So 80% brave damage up to the party in total, on top of plus 20% HP damage up to the party. Everything else is the same for both of these burst weapons. Now, where Cloud makes up or lacks in the additional just standard brave damage or HP damage up, he more than makes up for it in increased critical brave damage plus 50%. So even though he doesn't have that 20% HP damage up, he makes up for it for just increased critical brave damage. So either your units have to be dishing out crit damage or attack a target that's already broken, because when they're broken, you are hitting crit damage. So if you are lacking on Lightning's burst weapon, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up Cloud's burst weapon for that party-wide increase in damage. Now the final item for Cloud is going to be his 7-star armor, which is equipped with the Attack's Keystone, which is going to increase his own brave damage dealt cap limit by 15%. going up to 11,498, and this will also increase his held brave and HP damage cat limit by 15%. So the new limit for that is going to be 114,998. So cons about Cloud is this guy has more weapons than Gilgamesh. So outside of his standard 15, 35, LD, EX, and burst weapon, he does have 3 additional weapons. He has his Crimson Edge, his World of Illusion weapon. He has his Mannequin weapon, and he has, if you do have it, or if by some chance they decide to resell it, he does have his Buster Sword NT version. So that is 3 additional weapons. So his Mannequin weapon, the CP to equip that passive is 5 CP, but the Crimson Edge and the Buster Sword each is 20 CP. That's an additional 40 CP that he is using up to equip those passives. So be very careful for that. Make sure you do have everything equipped for him, so you could potentially equip everything, but also you do have to try to find lower cost CP passives, artifact passives for Cloud to equip. 3 of the 4 buffs on Cloud, they are generic buffs, so he does come with 4 buffs total. He's got his max brave, physical attack up, and critical rate up on top of his Mako buff. So if you bring someone else that severely buffs the party, you're going to start pushing off Cloud's generic buffs. You're going to push off his max brave, you're going to push off his physical attack up, or potentially his crit rate up, depending on the turn order that you buffed up Cloud, or you used the buffs with that other character. So be very, very careful with that. So don't bring someone that has more than 2 buffs towards the parties, because now you also have to start taking into consideration the debuffs that an enemy could inflict on Cloud. You can definitely refresh them by using Finishing Touch, which you should be doing often, especially now with this LD ability, because you could use Finishing Touch for free. But just keep track of that, keep that in mind, as you could potentially push off his own damage. And also, it's going to take 2 to 3 turns to set up Cloud for that paralysis, depending on what order you do this. So it's a two-turn setup for guaranteed 100% paralysis. If you go from Finishing Touch into Cross/Plus, that is 2 turns. So if you need that sooner, you could potentially screw yourself over if you do not plan for this, or if you use his LD. Free ability use, so his free Finishing Touch into his Cross/Plus, that is a 3-turn setup. Now the good thing about Cross/Plus, that it does stay upgraded for 8 turns, so you can plan that accordingly and hold on to it, but you do have to set up for that guaranteed 100% paralysis. Time to take at the Lufenia bosses. There's going to be 2 guard scorpions. Now I will leave a link down below to the Toneberry's Troop Lufenia research page. It's a beautiful page, guys. If you guys do want to plan ahead, again, check that out if you guys would love to see what is heading our way in terms of Lufenia bosses and their beautiful notes that they do have about said bosses. Now, this boss will be immune to HP attack disable, so rip Kefka and Arciel. You could still use Kefka on top of his other debuffs, so as long as you can increase the special counter, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Now that special counter, it's going to appear when the battle starts at 59% HP and at 29% HP. This will cancel at 79% HP and 39% HP. And the increase condition is whenever the guard scorpions cannot act, when they are unable to act, this will increase the special counter by 20 turns for both of the orbs. Now some general tips is that they do have massive brave gain, so watch out for that, and when their tail is up, be prepared to see some AoE brave plus HP damage. Don't delay these guys too much, because they need to be unable to act in order to increase the special turn counter. So they have to act. I punched shit out of my mic, but they don't have to act. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about those comps right now, but just keep that in mind, is that you can burn through that special counter, hence your team composition dying. Now, when it comes to bringing units, you definitely want to bring units that can increase the special turn counter. So you want your Cloud, Raijin, Spoony Bard, aka Edward, Camelot, and Dash if you are brave enough, because the paralysis and putting the enemies to sleep will come in very handy during this Lufenia boss fight. And of course, just fill in the rest of your team composition. So some examples is bring Reno, Kais, Rude, Emmetatalion, Lightning, Daddio, Sephiroth. Simply, if you can make them work, you can make them work here, as long as you could either increase their special counter or try to burst them down. So all in all, not a bad Lufenia, but I do remember these guys being beefy on the JP side. Now we're at that part of the video, friends. Are they worth it? Is Cloud worth your precious tickets and or gems. In my opinion, Cloud is highly worthy of your gems for his LD and burst weapons. I put him right down the center of worthy and pity because I'm trying not to let my Final Fantasy VII fan cloud my judgment about how worthy he is or my biasness of him, because I like him a lot, but I'm going to put him at high worthy, almost pity, depending on what you are looking for. So paralysis, delays, chases, they're OP. Okay, what can I say? And if you have his World of Illusion weapon, which you should have, it's only worth 10 power tokens in the weapon token shop, you can remove 1 buff per turn on a crit brave hit. So done, easy. What's more to say about that? The utility that Cloud brings to the table comes in very handy. Now here's where it's going to make a difference. Now when it comes to chase comps, pity worthy. There are going to be some Lufenia bosses that require to be launched in order for the special counter to go up. But I will say that when Lufenias don't resist delays or chase, Cloud is an absolute beast in chase comps with Pandemonium and Kais as the other chase initiator or chase unit to further increase the HP damage during a chase sequence. And of course, the third unit can be anything that helps support that. So anything from the lines of like Cryo, Paladin Cecil, Dark Knight Cecil, Ramza, just to name a few units. You can even bring Rude now to fit into that team composition. So if you're going to be putting together a chase team composition, Cloud is definitely pity worthy of your resources. Now, if you're not a fan of chase compositions, if you find them too boring, or if that's just not your thing, I would still say Cloud is still worthy of your resources because of the utility that he brings to the table. Now, of course, if you do have other units to fill that role, of course, you can definitely skip out on Cloud. And so, just some examples to name that could do something similar is like Camelot. Camelot has debuffs. He can paralyze. He can delay the enemies. He doesn't have chase initiating built into his kit. You have Ramza, who will be able to initiate a chase sequence with his LD ability, and then he does have massive brave batteries towards the party along with buffs, and he will come with a burst weapon when he does debut again with his rework. Kais, of course, is a beautiful alternative if you're just looking for primarily as a chase initiator, and especially once Kais gets his LD during his lost chapter. And finally, Lale will get so much better later down the line when he gets his LD and burst weapon. All right, friends, so those are some nice alternatives. If you're just personally not a fan of Cloud, not a fan of Final Fantasy VII, if you're looking to skip out on Cloud, or if you are extremely hurting on your resources because of this month and of the units that we had, or you're potentially saving up for other units, those are some nice alternatives. All right, friends, so aside from that, again, if you're not building that chase team composition, he's still worthy of your resources because of the utility built into his kit. But if you are going to be building that chase comp, highly recommended, pity worthy of your gems. And like I mentioned earlier, friends, at the time of making this video, I have no idea yet if we will be receiving free multi-draws on these banners, so just keep an eye on the in-game notices. Now, let's say you pick up his LD weapon super duper early. You are blessed if we receive a free multi-draw, which is the best burst banner to chase Cloud's burst weapon on. Now, Cloud is featured on 4 banners total, at least his burst weapon is. So on his LD and burst debut banners, his burst is going to be refeatured in Beatrix's Lost Chapter, where she does receive a rework and LD weapon, and Xande's debut banner. So which of these banners is the best burst banner to pick up Cloud's burst weapon on? In my own personal opinion, Xande is the best burst banner to chase Cloud's burst weapon on, because Xande, he is going to be coming with an elemental imperil and enchant towards your party, and that's going to be dark. He can also inflict fire resist down on top of the dark resist down. VV, come on now. But he can also reset the enemy's break status with his LD weapon. So Xande is a strong consideration to pick up, with him being a magic attacking unit. And I also highly recommend you guys pick up some form of dark damage dealer, because there are going to be some Lufenias that require you to do some form of dark brave damage towards the enemy. So if you definitely skip out on Xande, we have Dark Knight Cecil, but that's some stuff for other videos. All right, friends, so this banner, in my opinion, is the best burst banner to pick up Cloud's burst weapon on. That is it for this video, friends. I want to thank you guys for watching my Are They Worth It covering Cloud. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you guys are going to be doing for this Banner, of course, we're going to find out in the in-game notice if there will be free multi-draws on these banners, and if there are, good luck to you guys. Hopefully we do pick up his LD for free and pick up his burst weapon for free on the Zande banner, but that's being very hopeful. Me personally, I am going to be going for Cloud's weapons. It's LD and burst weapons, so when his debut banner starts, I'll more than likely go in with gems to try to acquire his LD weapon, and I plan on going ham for his burst on the Zande banner. Depending if we do get free multi-draws or not, we'll see how that goes. For the Beatrix banner, I'm thinking about doing maybe like 100, 200 tickets, and you never know, you could pick up burst weapons with tickets, but it is very rare to do so. So that is my own personal plans, guys. I will be getting his LD and burst weapons. I am a Final Fantasy VII fan, so I will be getting his kit. All right, friends, so again, you guys let me know what you guys are going to be doing for Cloud down below in the comments, and until next time, friends, good luck and have a good one.